All right, well, good morning, everyone. It is Friday of our first week of virtual preschool. So that means we have made it through a whole week doing something completely different than we've ever done before. And I guess that's a pretty good thing. We've managed to get through the week, so that's awesome. So we have another kind of long story today. It's a really good one, but it's long. So we're going to go ahead and get started on our calendar and days of the week. So let's see here. Remember, we talked about that this month is called September. So let's count the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that was our last day of school, Wednesday the 16th. So the number that comes after 16 is 17. So let's see, we also have to figure out what the picture will be. So school bus, school bus, school bus, and number 17 is school. And that was yesterday when the 3's class had their circle time. So there's number 17. We have to put one more up. So 15, 16, 17, 18, and we have school, bus, school, bus, school, bus. So number 18 is on a bus for today. And let's go over here to our days of the week. So the last day of school we had was Wednesday. So Thursday, Friday is today. So we'll move the frog over there. Sorry about the glare. There's light coming in the windows and the curtains are not blocking it well at all. So today is Friday, September 18th. And we've been talking about the fact that even though it is starting to look and feel like fall outside, that it is still, somebody moved my thing, it is still summer right now. But in a few days, it will be officially fall. So let's look out. Oh, I closed my curtains, but I can definitely tell that it is sunny out today because of the glare on our days of the week. So we have our little sunny for today, but it is pretty chilly this morning. So we have to get that cool frog out again. There's our cool frog, and it's gonna kind of stay a little chilly today. It's not gonna warm up a whole lot. All right, so sunny and cool today. All right, and we've been talking about us and our names. And let's see, Wednesday we read the book called Chrysanthemum, and that was about a little girl whose name was Chrysanthemum. And the kids at school kind of made fun of her name, even though it was such a cool name. But in the end, everything turned out great, and the kids decided that her name was really neat after all. We have another book today in our mystery envelope about somebody's name. All right, so this one's a little different. This is a new book that I got this year. I'm going to pull it out slowly. Maybe some of you have read it, I'm not sure. It's not one that I had read before. My daughter Audrey had actually read it before, and she's the one who told me how good it was. So this is called The Name Jar. And if you see, look on the inside, right up here, oops, I put a little sticky note, all right, because I didn't know how to pronounce this little girl's name, who's the main character in the book. So I looked up on YouTube how to pronounce her name, because it is really important that we learn how to pronounce people's names correctly. Even if it's a name from a different language that we don't know, it is still important to learn how to pronounce people's names correctly. Like my name is Miss Mieke. Mieke is a Dutch name, and most people don't know how to pronounce it when they first meet me. So it's very important that those people learn how to pronounce it, and I always appreciate it when they do. So the little girl's name in this book is Unhei, and it means grace. So we'll find that out too in the book. So here we go. The name jar. Through the school bus window, Eun-hye looked out at the strange buildings and houses on the way to her new school. It was her first day, and she was both nervous and excited. She fingered the little block of wood in her pocket and remembered leaving her grandmother at the airport in Korea. Her grandmother had wiped away Eun-hye's tears and handed her an ink pad and a small red satin pouch. "Your name is inside," she had said. "My name?" Eun-hye wondered. Again, she took out the red pouch to look at the wooden block with her name carved in it. As she ran her fingers along the grooves and ridges of the Korean characters, she pictured her grandmother's smile. So there they are at the airport with her grandmother. "Is that thing for show and tell?" a boy asked Eun-hye, surprising her. Eun-hye looked up as more kids leaned over. "No, it's mine," Eun-hye answered, quickly putting the pouch back in her pocket. "Are you new here? What's your name?" a girl asked. "Eun-hye," said Eun-hye. "Uni?" the girl asked, scrunching up her face. Uni? Some kids chanted. No, Eun-hye corrected. It's spelled Unhei. It's pronounced Un-hye. "Oh, it's you-hey," the boy said, "like you, hey. What about hey, you?" Just then, the bus pulled up to the school and the doors opened. Eun-hye hurried to get off. "You-hey, bye-bye," the kids yelled as she left. Eun-hye felt herself blush. Oh, so this is kind of similar to the chrysanthemum story, right? The kids at school were making fun of chrysanthemum's name because it was so long. These kids are kind of making fun of Eun-hye's name because it sounds different than what they're used to. Eun-hye stood in the doorway of her new and noisy classroom. She was relieved that the kids on the bus had gone to other rooms, but her face still felt red. "Aren't you going in?" asked a curly-haired boy with lots of dots on his face. "You're the new girl, right?" he asked cheerfully. Eun-hye nodded, and before she could walk away, the boy took her hand and pulled her through the door. "Here's the new girl," he announced so loudly that the teacher, Mr. Kokotis, almost dropped his glasses. Mr. Kokotis thanked him and greeted Eun-hye. "Please welcome our newest student," he said to the class. "She and her family just arrived from Korea last week." Eun-hye smiled broadly and tried not to show her nervousness. "What's your name?" someone shouted. Eun-hye pictured the kids on the bus. I haven't picked one yet," she told the class, "but I'll let you know by next week." As Mr. Kokotis showed her to her desk, she felt many round, curious eyes on her. "Why doesn't she have a name?" she heard someone whisper. "Maybe she robbed a bank in Korea and needs a new identity," a boy replied. That's a very creative idea there. On the bus home, nobody teased her, but Eun-hye kept thinking about her name. "How was school, Eun-hye?" her mother asked when she walked in. "Did you understand the teacher?" Eun-hye simply nodded. She unpacked her school bag and set the red pouch by a photograph of her grandma. "I'm glad you are learning English well," her mother said. "You must study hard, behave nicely, and get good grades to show that you're a good Korean." "I will," replied Eun-hye, but I think I would like my own American name," she said quickly. Her mother looked at her with surprise. "Why? Eun-hye is a beautiful name. Your grandma and I went to a name master for it." "But it is so hard to pronounce," Eun-hye complained. "I don't want to be different from all the American kids." "You are different, Eun-hye," her mother said. "That's a good thing." Eunhye just wrinkled her nose. Later that day, Eunhye and her mother went grocery shopping in their new neighborhood. Well, the lights just went out. That's great. They passed Fadil's Falafel, Tony's Pizza, and Dot's Deli. A big graffiti-painted garbage truck roared like a lion as it took off down the street. Nothing sounded or looked familiar until they got to Kim's Market. The sign was in both English and Korean. Her mother picked up a cabbage to make kimchi, Korean-style spicy pickled cabbage, and other vegetables and meat. She also found some seaweed, Eunhye's favorite for soup. It made Eunhye smile. Just because we've moved to America, her mother said, doesn't mean we stop eating Korean food. At the checkout counter, a friendly man smiled at Eunhye. Helping your mother with the shopping, he asked. Eunhye nodded. I'm Mr. Kim, he said, and what is your name? Eunhye, she answered. Ah, what a beautiful name, he said. Doesn't it mean grace? Eunhye nodded again. My mother and grandmother went to a name master for it, she told him. A graceful name for a graceful girl, Mr. Kim said as he put their groceries into bags. Welcome to the neighborhood, Eunhye. That evening, Eunhye stood in front of the bathroom mirror. Hi, my name is Amanda, she said cheerfully. Then she wrinkled her nose. Hi, my name is Laura. Maybe not. Her smile turned down. Nothing sounded right. Nothing felt right. I don't think American kids will like me, she worried as she began to brush her teeth. Hai ma nemed shuzi, she said to the mirror with her mouth full of toothpaste. Have you ever tried talking with toothpaste in your mouth and your words don't come out quite right? That's exactly what happened with Eunhye. The next morning, when Eunhye arrived at school, she found a glass jar on her desk with some pieces of paper in it. Eunhye took one out and read it aloud. Daisy. That's my baby sister's nickname, but she said you can use it if you want, said Cindy, who sat next to her. Eunhye took out the rest of the paper. Tamela, she read. I got it from a storybook, said Nate. She was smart and brave. Eunhye nodded and unfolded another piece. Wednesday. Yeah, you came here on Wednesday, said Ralph. Thank you for your help. A smile spread over Eunhye's face. Ralph quickly said, we'll put more names in. You can pick whatever you like, or pick them all. The longest name in history. So the kids are trying to help her pick a name. At 3 o'clock, the bell rang for the end of the school day. Eunhye looked out the window and saw it was sprinkling. It's the same rain, she thought, but in a different place. She watched other kids leaving in groups. Hey, a familiar voice called out to her. Eunhye turned around to see the curly-haired boy again. I'm Joey, he said. And you? Don't you have any name? Eunhye thought for a moment. Well, I can show you, she said, and took out the small red pouch. She pressed the wooden block on the ink pad and then stamped it on a piece of paper. There it is. This is my name stamp, she said. My grandma gave it to me. In Korea, I can use it as a signature when I open a bank account or write a letter. And whenever I miss my grandma, I use it to fill a piece of paper. Want to try it? She offered the stamp to Joey, and he carefully inked the stamp and pressed it hard on the paper. The red characters gleamed against the whiteness. Wow, that's beautiful, Joey said. Can I keep the paper? Sure, Eunhye said. And then the two of them shared her umbrella as they walked to the school bus. Every day the jar got fuller with more names, and Eunhye read them all. She found a few names she liked. Miranda, Stella, Avery. They sounded interesting. I hope you choose the name I put in, Marco told her at snack time. I've put in 3 more, said Ralph. Madison, Park, and Lex. They're my favorite street names. Maybe you should close your eyes and draw a name, Rosie suggested. Ralph frowned. That's silly. What if she doesn't like the name she draws? Well, we didn't get to choose our names when we were born, did we? Rosie argued. Everyone thought about this. When Eunhye got home from school that day, her little brother ran to give her a letter. It was from her grandma. She opened it quickly. It said, "To my Eunhye, I hope you are enjoying your new school and new friends. Be sure to help your mother and your little brother. Here the moon is up, but there the sun is up. No matter how far apart we are, and no matter how different America is from Korea, you'll always be my Eunhye, your grandma forever." Eunhye took out her wooden stamp and filled a paper with it. She thought for a long time in front of the bathroom mirror. On Saturday, Eunhye walked to Mr. Kim's store. Mr. Kim was helping a customer, but he looked up and greeted her. "Hi, Eunhye." "Hello, Mr. Kim," Eunhye replied. She felt as if she was back in her old neighborhood in Korea. "Hey," said the customer, turning around. It was Joey. "Your name is Eunhye." Or, excuse me, he's asking her that. "Your name is Eunhye?" he asked with her eyes open wide. Eunhye looked quickly at Mr. Kim, then turned to Joey. She nodded slowly. "Yes, it's pronounced Eunhye. And it means grace," Mr. Kim added. "Eunhye," Joey said slowly, and this time perfectly. It made Eunhye smile. "I'll have it ready for you tomorrow," said Mr. Kim to Joey. "Thank you, Mr. Kim. See you Monday, Eunhye," Joey said to her. He left before she could ask him why he was at the store. On Monday, Eunhye came to class early to look at the names one last time. But the jar wasn't on her desk. Instead, there was a single piece of paper with a name on it. Eunhye slipped it in her pocket. "Where's your name jar?" Ralph asked as soon as he saw it was gone. "I don't know," Eunhye said. "It wasn't on Mr. Kokoto's desk or on any other desk, and it wasn't on the counters or any of the shelves." As other kids arrived, they helped look. Soon, Mr. Kokotos came in and Ralph shouted at him, "The name jar is gone, the jar with all the names in it." "Gone?" Mr. Kokotos replied, with a look of concern. He asked Eunhye, "Did you get a chance to read all the names?" Eunhye nodded. She took a breath. "I'm ready to introduce myself," she said. Eunhye wrote her name in both English and Korean on the chalkboard. "I liked the beautiful names and funny names you thought of for me," she told the class, "but I realized that I liked my name best. So I chose it again. Korean names mean something. Eunhye means grace." "Grace, in high," shouted Ralph. Everyone tried to say it. "Eunhye, Eunhee, Eunhye." Eunhye said her name again slowly and clearly. Soon the kids began to get to say it better, even Mr. Kokotos. They applauded Eunhye's choice. "I was named after a flower," Rosie whispered to Eunhye. "Lots of American names have meanings too," Mr. Kokotos reminded everyone. When the class was dismissed, Eunhye heard her new friends say goodbye. "Bye, Eunhye. See you tomorrow. Goodbye, Eunhye." Eunhye said goodbye and then looked around for Joey, but he was already gone. Eunhye, Eunhye, come downstairs, Mother called up to Eunhye. Your friend is here. Eunhye rushed down to see who she meant. There stood Joey, and in his arms was the name jar. Where did you find it? Asked Eunhye breathlessly. Joey looked embarrassed. Well, I took it, but only because I wanted you to keep your own name, and you did. He reached in and pulled out the names. Do you want to keep them? He asked. Thank you. I'll keep them as a souvenir, Eunhye said happily. Then she pulled out the piece of paper from her pocket. Do you want this back? Joey grinned. You can keep it. I'll return the name jar to the class. Maybe you could put some Korean nicknames in it for us. Names with good meanings. I could do that, agreed Eunhye. I've already got a Korean nickname, Joey said. Mr. Kim helped me choose it. Carefully, he pulled a small silver felt pouch from his pocket. Then he took out a dark wooden stamp with beautiful Korean characters and characters carved sharply into it. He pressed it on the ink pad and then on the piece of paper next to her name. Chinku, read Eunhye. That means friend. And Chinku smiled back. All right. So, just really quick, I have one thing to show you. So, in your email that your mom and dad got, there was a link to, what was it called? I think it was called Hidden Name Art. Okay, so what you're going to do, and it has directions on that link, you'll have a white piece of paper and a white crayon. And you're gonna either write your name or have your mom and dad write your name in white crayon on white paper. So then, when you have white crayon on white paper, you can't see it, can you? I wrote my name, but you can't see it at all. So then, what you have to do, I have a little jar of water, and I have it in here just so that it won't spill, and some watercolor paints. And I'm going to take my paintbrush. I have a little bit thicker paintbrush, so it's a little easier to use. And I'm going to get some color on my paintbrush after I put water on it, and I'm going to paint over the letters that I just wrote on here. And that will reveal my hidden name. All right, so there, now you can see my name. So it shows up once you paint over it. So that's your hidden name art. All right. And I also had suggested, I think I might have mentioned this the other day, suggested that you look up the meaning for your name, because most people's names have some kind of meaning. All right, you guys, we are probably running out of time, I'm guessing. So I will see everybody next week for circle time and our small group times that you're signed up for. All right, so I'll see everyone next week. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.